We got the Adidas Tyshawn Shoes. Its first official sneaker. The second one pretty much being the same damn thing, just with a little suede bumper on the top that rides up a tad bit right over the toe cap for some extra added protection. This shoe is a cupsole and it comes in a series of colorways with two different build material options, suede and leather. Now the ones that I've skated have been both leather, and I have not tried the suede ones yet, but I feel like that would be like more broken in out the, but I feel like it would be perfect. I feel like it would probably be perhaps one of my favorite shoes overall, my go-tos. But no, I enjoy these, not just in terms of how they look, but also more importantly, how they actually perform as a skate shoe. That being said, the toe box on these lean, not necessarily narrow, I would say, but like they kind of are. Like they kind of point. So maybe go up a half size if that's the thing that works for you. Other than that, it fits like pretty true to size, using your pre-existing sizing knowledge with Adidas, whatever works for you. Because you know some should be running differently. Like in the midfoot, there's plenty of room, and it's like spacious, right? It's wide open ranges out there and shit like that. But kind of does like narrow up a bit as it gets to the toe cap. Which again, I didn't have any pinching. I don't have wide feet, so I'm trying to like reference how that might be. I can't even imagine. I don't know. This could be just normal shit. I could be tripping right there. But I mean, ultimately, I guess you can look at it and kind of see more or less if you do got wide feet or it's something you feel like you need to worry about. Started in a big spin nose slide. They just take a big spin nose slide. Alright, so them being leather lands it a bit more on the stiffer side of things, which gets way better once you break them in, but still kind of maintains like an overall little level of stiffness, like at least compared to like a vulcanized sneaker. And to be clear, it's like it's not like a hard and stiff. It's not like problematic levels of stiffness, so don't worry too much on that front. It's just there's a breaking outsole on the bottom that does in fact give it a lot more flexibility, so it's a lot less stiff than I'm going on about, especially compared to a number of other cupsoles without that. You got a soft leather build all around, sturdy 3 stripes on the side, Tyshawn right next to it in gold, a pretty thin tongue, and perforated holes on the good. There's a lot of holes on the midsole and upper vamp for breathability. All capped off with the sticky rubber outsole for protection. It's more on the harder side of things in terms of the touch and versus soft. I like soft rubber. I don't know. I like soft rubber. I don't know if it feels like it wears away quick. I don't know if it does. I don't know. I just like it. Phenomenal amount of grip and traction. It just come on now. It just comes into play, and you will have no issues with it from the moment you put it on to the time you take it off. Because that's kind of how that works. Unless you sleep in your shit. Midsole stroke. Speaking of strokes, goddamn, I'm out here. A nigga can't read. I got this shit written down, nigga. I'm just looking at the midsole, I'm really liking how the 3 stripes don't seem to be prone to ripping, for they are somewhat out of the way as much as possible, I guess, in comparison to some of the other shoes. So I don't know why I mentioned it, which doesn't mean they will not rip in time. I mean, I stay losing stripes. It's part of the course with Adidas, and in fact, if it wasn't, if I get some Adidas, nigga, and I don't rip the goddamn stripes, nigga, at least 1 or 2, I need my money back. It's part of the experience. Now, but as well as the stripes, the rest of the shoe is pretty similar in that regard of being modest, or maybe the opposite. The whole naked is what I'm saying. There's not a lot going on there. Hanging out is what I'm saying. That can rip up and start to just hang, flop, or just tear up. You know what I'm saying? There's not all kinds of grooves. The lace bed doesn't dip down too far. There's not a bunch of stitching all over anything that can come undone, and just the shoes were moderately comfortable out the box and had an okay amount of cushioning, decent amount of support when you put them on. For sure, just stability all throughout. I did have a lack of board feel, which is normal for cupsole shoes. Some people love that, some people hate it. But of course, as time goes on, they break in more, and you start to gain a lot more of that board feel. It's been a month, and these shoes have been in my trunk for the past 6 months, and in extreme temperatures, yet still have held their structure and support, which is good for me. It probably took me like 3 sessions, anywhere from 5 hours a session to break them in. Big L for me. So while they take me personally longer to break in, they don't quite hit as good for me, even well after they're fully broken in. Just a little side note, just a little personal side note that don't mean shit to you necessarily. The impact protection was actually pretty cool, and it took a little bit longer than other shoes that wear down over time before these two did. And of course, it's going to vary person to person and how much you skate, and if you're jumping off big things. I'm not jumping off big things, motherfucker. So definitely take that into account, and I'm always saying, if you jump off anything even, you should just probably have some additional insoles. So out the box, a good amount of shoes are great for low to medium impact, but after a week or two, sometimes longer. They're just compromised, and what was once good starts to hurt when you land how you used to before with no issues on the same obstacle. So you hop off an obstacle you had no issues with, then eventually you're hopping off the same obstacle and you have an issue because it deteriorates. I would recommend you for sure try these, no doubt, especially if you get them discounted. Even if I don't like a particular product, that may not be the case for you, and you're going to have to see at the end of the day what it is for you. What I may hate, you may like or even love, and vice versa. If you're fully within your means to do so, go ahead and try some out. Just don't kill me if they don't work out. So I can find some on the lowest end, probably around 40 to 50, even 60. So I'm pretty sure you can shop around, try to lock it in for a cheaper price, way cheaper than like the full price, and go ahead and alleviate some of the blow if you do buy them and you happen to not like them, because that's always about yeah, I'm saying redundant shit. You should know this already. And if you came across this video, you're really thinking about trying to buy some or something like that, go ahead and watch like other videos too, like try to get a solidified feel before you go whatever money you're about to. A lot more flexible, but the outsole is still a good amount of rigidity. It's still rigid. It's still intact. It still has a good amount of hold to it. It's not completely blown out or fully compromised to where it's just mush. The rubber did not wear too much. I've been obsessively doing kickflips too.